Supply and demand zones play a crucial role in technical analysis of gold. In this video, I will teach you what is supply and demand zone. I will share with you a simple strategy that will help you to identify supply and demand zones easily, and I will share with you real examples of supply and demand zones on gold chart. Cheaters, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let's start. In order to identify supply and demand zones on gold chart, the first thing that you should do, you should execute a complete structure analysis on gold chart. You should identify key horizontal and vertical structures. We are on gold chart on a daily time frame, and here is how a complete structure analysis should look like. You can see that here I identified major vertical structures, the trend lines. I identified horizontal structures, key horizontal supports, and resistances. Once you executed a complete structure analysis, you can look for supply and demand zones. Demand zone is the area on a price chart that unites multiple key supports. Such an area can be based on horizontal supports, on trend lines, or on a combination of both. The first demand zone that I see on our gold chart is based on that horizontal support and on that vertical support, the trend line. Here is the separate chart where we have only these two structures. And when you're looking for a demand zone, you should know that the combination of a trend line and the horizontal structure gives you the most significant demand zone. In our example here, our demand zone will be based on that entire horizontal support and the trend line. That blue area will be our expanding demand zone, and we will assume that buyers will place their buying orders within that entire area. We will assume that aggressive buyers will start buying from that horizontal support, while the conservative traders will buy from that trend line. Traders, get more free educational materials and tips on my Instagram, the link in the description below. So the buying orders are lying within that entire area. Everywhere are the buying orders, and for that reason such a zone is called the demand zone. And once that zone is reached, we anticipate the accumulation of buying orders, and we never know which point within that zone the price to respect and from where exactly the price will bounce. So once that zone is reached, we monitor that, we analyze the price action within that area, and we look for a signal to buy the market, expecting a bullish movement from that entire area. On our chart, we have one more demand zone. You can see that here we also have a rising trend line, a strong vertical support, and we have a huge support cluster here. And again, let's study the structures on a separate chart. Just try to understand how buyers would act once the structures are reached. And I guess many of you will ask me why that support here is so wide. The reasoning is very simple. If we study the price action within that area, we can spot that we have a strong horizontal support here, we have a strong horizontal support right here, we have a strong horizontal support right here, and we also have a strong support right here. And you can see that all the supports are lying very close to each other. In such a situation, we unite all the supports into one single area, and we call that a horizontal demand zone, or it can be just the horizontal support zone. Some of the buyers will start buying the market from that trend line, from that rising support, while other traders will start buying from that white green area, white green support, and different buyers will place their orders on different price levels within that zone. Our demand cluster here will be based on the trend line and that huge structure cluster. Our demand zone here will be that huge blue area, and we will assume that buying orders are placed within that entire area, and lower the price goes within that area, more buying orders will become active. The buying volumes will accumulate, and at some moment the price will bounce from that demand zone. And on our chart, of course, we have a supply zone as well. Let's study these two structures, the horizontal resistance and a rising trend line, a vertical resistance. A supply zone is the area on a price chart that unites multiple resistances. Such an area can be based on the combination of multiple horizontal resistances, the trend lines, or the combination of both. When you're looking for a supply zone, always remember that the combination of a trend line, of a vertical resistance, and a horizontal resistance gives you a very significant supply cluster. You can see that here we have a trend line and a horizontal resistance that are lying very close to each other. And these two structures here will compose the supply zone. That will be our expanding supply zone. And again, just try to think how sellers will act once the structures are reached. Just imagine that some aggressive sellers will start selling the market from the lower boundary of that horizontal resistance, while the conservative sellers will start selling from that trend line. For that reason, the selling orders will be placed within that entire area, and higher the market goes, more selling orders will become active. So the selling volumes will accumulate while the market is staying within that area. And at some moment, selling pressure will become strong enough to start pushing the prices down and the market will drop. After the execution of supply and demand zones analysis, you can see that our price chart changes. Instead of separate trend lines, separate horizontal structures, we now have three supply and demand zones here. We have one strong supply zone and we have two significant demand zones, and we will apply these zones and the horizontal structures here for trading. Remember that you can identify supply and demand zones on any time frame, and supply and demand zones can be applied for swing trading, day trading, and scalping gold. These zones will help you to identify the safe zone to open a trading position from. These zones can indicate you the targets for the trades, and these zones will help you to set a safe stop loss. Let me know, traders, in the comment section if you have any questions. Also, traders, do not forget to subscribe to my Instagram, the link in the description below. Also, traders, do not forget to watch my other videos.